Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning from the chicken coop. Today we are talking about the rhythms of nature and how we as human beings fit into that. And we respond to it. I think it's kind of interesting. We all understand seasons, spring, summer, winter, and fall, but we don't often think about our days that way. We'll think about our lives that way because we know there are certain chunks and ages of time that we'll say, oh, well, we're getting into that later season of life, and we all understand it on some level, but I don't think we actually sit down and figure out what it means to us and how we interpret it for ourselves, as well as the daily practice of understanding it. Why am I bringing this up? Because basically we're halfway through the year, and I have a lot of people that I work with that will say to me, well, I'm really struggling sticking to my daily practice, and I'm really struggling right now. I came out really strong, and now all of a sudden it's just, I feel like I'm getting to this place where I'm struggling to do all the little things every day that I know I should be doing. And I want you all to know that is normal. That is completely and totally normal. It is part of being a human being that we will be cyclical. We'll do things sometimes so on the money. And I'm not just talking about in general. I'm talking about all aspects of our life. Like some days we're just so great at getting up, doing our workouts, doing our study work, whatever we're working on, doing our mantras, focusing on our goals. And then there are other days we get up and we're just like, I don't want to do any of this crap right this minute. I don't want to do it all. And that is normal. So first part of today, stop beating yourself up for feeling that way. It's normal. Do you have to stay there? No. But you do have to actually look at what it means, because sometimes there are different meanings to this, and sometimes it just means that you have outgrown something you're doing, and sometimes it doesn't mean that at all. Sometimes it just means you need a break. Most of the time it means you just need a little bit of a break. We all need little breaks from things that we're doing, and often we're not good at giving ourselves that ability to just take that little break and say, you know what, it's okay for me to rest right now. And organically, halfway through the year, you start to head into the summer. You start to head into the time where you've plowed the fields, you've planted the seeds, you have spent all that time working in the fields, and then all of a sudden, it's the time where the heat is on, and you don't want to go outside. So I live in a state where it gets hot, and it gets really hot. And when it gets blazing hot, you don't want to go outside. And I grew up in a state where it was constantly cold. I felt like it was constantly cold. But in the winter, you don't even see people. Like, they just go inside, they do puzzles, they play games, they don't come outside. They watch movies, they don't come outside because of the weather. Here, that happens in the summer. And it's always funny to me to see how the weather affects us and how certain aspects of just collectively we move with nature. And this is one of those things that halfway through the year, we are collectively moving with nature, where right now you just are in the heat of the summer. Typically, no matter where you are, you're in the heat of the summer. You slow down a little bit. You just want to have a sweet tea and sit back and relax, and you just want to take it easy. And then we beat ourselves up for it. And it's not healthy. At any point in time, you're going to hear me say this over and over and over if you stick with me on this podcast. You cannot influence yourself through being mean to yourself. The theory of the beatings will continue until morale improves does not work. Long term, it is absolutely detrimental to your well-being, to your outcomes, and to who you are as an individual. It is incredibly important to not beat yourself up for wanting to take a break. That being said, it is incredibly important to distinguish how long you want that to be, and to actually set time and say, I'm going to take a break. I have a 4-day weekend coming up, and I'm looking forward to my 4-day weekend. And on that 4-day weekend, I will not be doing any of my normal things. And it's okay, because I will be back to them afterwards. And I'm not just talking about going away, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm just taking 4 days off. And I think that's a big thing to remember in your life, that when you try to power through endless amounts of time, even in your day, and you say, I'm going to do this for 4 hours, I will often get people say to me, okay, I'm going to do all my calls for 4 hours straight. And I'm like, no, you're not. I know you love to believe you are, but you're not. And for most people, it does not work. There are the very few people that can pull that off, and they cram and they cram and they cram, but they feel terrible on the other side. They eat awful during it, and when it's done, they're exhausted, and it screws up even more days. So it's not worth the methodology to go into. It's not worth anything. It's silly. So stop. If that's the strategy that you have, look for the cycles and say, okay, what really works for me? Well, for most people, if you just do something for 30 minutes and then take a 10-minute break, it feels a hell of a lot better, and you can get your mind to say, I can shut my phone off for 30 minutes, or I can focus on this for 30 minutes, and then I can go. And that's part of the rhythms of being in nature, just in general. You have got to think more cyclical as far as your whole entire well-being, not just, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this and power through it and power through it and power through it, and I'm going to keep doing this. It never works. It never works. So if you are more thoughtful about it and you make more plan around it, you will be able to continue and still have astronomical outcomes. Trust me, I do this with myself all the time, and I get very far strides. But it's not by just powering through it and doing the same thing every single day for, 12 months out of the year. It's just being thoughtful, creating a plan, understanding that things are cyclical, that you need a break, that you are part of nature, and that you can follow the rhythms of nature and allow yourself to have that time that you need, not just in a vacation, but every single day. So look for that. Look at how you're performing in your day. See where your windows are and adjust that schedule and adjust those habits so that you can feel good about it. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.